Hi, this is Lorraine. I can see, oh, there was one viewer, but you might have dropped out again. If you want to check, I'm not sure if you can type something in the group chat so I know who's there. I'm going to hold off until 8 p.m. It's 7:53 now, and then I'll start the session. There's 5 people we invited to come in. Okay, well, I'm going to get started. I was waiting for 5 people to come into the session, but I don't know if I haven't sent in the correct link. I can see the one viewer, so I'll get going. The session's called Design Your Own Training Program. So the idea is you might collect a program off the internet somewhere. You're not sure if it's the right level. You're not exactly sure if it's designed for what you will need. So the following steps will give you a good idea whether that's working or not. What I'm going to do is PowerPoint, and that takes up my whole screen, so occasionally I might just come out of that just to see if there's anyone else that's signed in to this session. But once I go into PowerPoint, it takes up the whole screen, so I can't see the Hangout. Okay, so let me try this. Some recommendations there. And depending on how many weeks, or depending on how much time you spend. So you can see if you've only got 8 weeks or 10 weeks, not going to spend a lot of time in what's called phase number 2. But you spend about the same amount of time in phase 1, 3, and 4 if you can manage that. So phase 1 is your base. Already taken care of. If you haven't got any foundation, then you still need try to have 3 to 6 weeks to form that. So during this phase is cell adaptation. So you're getting your body ready. You're just doing steady, relaxed running, no speed work, just ticking over. You're trying to build your endurance by increasing your, and you'll build up, by doing that, you'll be building up your resistance to injury. Tips for the first phase. Well, if you can find a training schedule or make one yourself, you really need to start sticking to it. Just going, oh, I'll do it tomorrow or this afternoon or the next morning doesn't tend to work. So develop a habit of, I'm going to run 3 times a week, Tuesday, Sunday, and that's it. Nothing else happens during that time, with rare exceptions. You need to learn to eat well. Sleep is really important for rest. And if you have to miss a session, miss it. Don't overthink it too much and get bogged down with, I have to do this amount of stuff or I'm not going to get there. We tend to do high mileage, so you probably can miss the odd session. You're not going to be, it's not going to be too bad. I'm going to go out and check if there's anyone signed up. No, I wonder where everybody is. Oh, sorry guys. Okay, so we'll go back in here. That's phase 1. So try if you can to sit there for about 6 weeks. Now phase 2, and remember you can actually skip through phase 2 if you haven't got much time. You're going to improve your running mechanics and economy. So, you know, start looking at your running technique. Where can you have energy? At Dynamic Running, we do technique training on Monday nights. So you can come along to that and learn how to. You can bring in a bit of speed work now. Depends if you're a novice, you can get away with doing no speed work. So it just depends on how experienced you are. But you can do some faster runs now. You're still keeping your distances short. So 200, 400 meters, depends what distance. 200 meters for a 10K or a half marathon, but you'll go up to 400 meters at mild pace, and you can work that out. There's a range of calculators online that you can Google and find that will pace. So, you know, do a time trial, 3K preferably, 3K time trial, and use that to predict your race pace of where you are at the moment. And the purpose of that is, of course, to try and get you a bit faster. What we tend to do with the long runs is it just bogs us down and we go quite slow. So you need to bring in the speed sessions during the week to so that you don't just keep going slower and slower. So there's one tip for phase. Again, it's getting your body ready for all the training that's coming. So phase 3 and 4 is where you start working harder. 12 weeks out from the race still. So phase 3 is called the hard work phase. It's characterized by providing the transition into the final phase. So you're getting the body ready for some serious hard. It is hard work. You're increasing your intervals up to 5 minutes. So before this, you're doing 200 meters, 400 meter intervals. You might be doing fartlek of 1 minute or so. Now you're going to run continuous for up to 5 minutes at a time at a higher pace. And this all gets the body ready for race day, developing the various systems. And follow the program. I get a bit tired now. So it's good to have a privilege. Tick every day if you've done something. If you have to miss something, miss it. Don't go back. But you know, just skipping stuff continually is just not going to get you there. Get some good nutrition and rest, so sleep. That's really important for our recovery. Try and stay away from people that are sick. You definitely don't want to get ill in phase 3, so that you're out of training for a week or two because you're in bed with a flu or something. So, you know, I get a bit fanatical about this. I won't go to staff meetings at work where people are coughing all over me. I tell them outright, go home if you're sick. I don't want to get sick. So focus on staying well. And then the last phase. So this is now maybe 3 to 6 weeks before your race. You pick up, do some tempo running. Bring in some events. So do some time trials. You're reducing your reps and your intervals, but you're picking up the tempo running. So that's continuous running at race pace. So you might go out for a warm up of 3 kilometers and then run 5 kilometers continuous at a higher pace, like on race pace or half marathon pace, what program's telling you, and go do some races. The mistake people make, I think, in phase 4 is that they do their race before their race. So even though you're racing, you still have to keep in mind that it's preparation for your event. So if you race too hard on the weekend that you can't come back on Tuesday night and do a hard session, then you haven't really done a good job with that race. If it's going to take you a whole week to recover from that, you're losing too much time in your training. So yes, you need to race because you've got to practice what you're wearing and whether your food is right. And you also sort of want to race as well at the same time as that. Well, then you want to get up early and get used to that sort of stuff. Phase 4, your hard work and focus on what you can do best. So if that's a little sprint at the finish, do that during your training to get that little burst at the finish. Some people are very good at that and others are not. So pick what you're good at. You know, if you're good at hills, then that's all I've got for tonight. So if you have any other questions or if you're not sure what you're doing, you want to send through your training program for me to have a quick look at, you're welcome to do that. But yeah, just focus on your 4 phases and see if your current training program fits in with that. If you're training in a group like we do at Dynamic Running, people in the room at the moment. Stop the broadcast here.